All right, time to shake up a little bit of a martini over here. It's about that time. Should be getting some people into the room here momentarily. And if you get into the room, please feel free to enter the chat line and tell us who's here, where you're from. Oh, Phil Camp's here. Hey, there you are, Phil. Hold on. Let me just say hello to you, that you're the first one in here this evening from Houston. Thank you, my friend, for joining us here tonight on our Chicago Magic Lounge night. This is going to be fun. Thanks, Phil, for jumping in. You're the first one here, so cheers to you. And we'll be having some more people I know coming in here shortly. Let me pour my martini and get this party started a little bit early for us. So, and put a little bit of a spritz of vermouth on the top. Just perfect. And hey, Mark Holstein's coming in then also, joining us from Driftwood. And yes, we'll be seeing you there, Mark and Sue, in Abbott's in just a couple of weeks, just about 3 weeks away. It's going to be great. And all the way from Canada, Maureen is here. You're here. Thank you very much, Maureen, for joining us as well, my friend. I hope you're going to be able to get across that border in Canada to join us as well. And so, wait, what's this? Phil moved to where? Lola, Texas? I've heard the song by the Kinks, but I'm not familiar with where Lola is, but it's obviously up there. John Custer, yes, you're just, or JG, I'm assuming that's John Custer from mid-Michigan. You're not the first in tonight. You're slipping there, man. Thanks for joining us. George Schindler, you're not joining us closer to the end to say, hey, what happened? Catch me up. What happened? So looks like you got here at the beginning. Glad you did. And Clark Aldridge is here as well. Howdy, Clark. Just glad you're here then, too. And I see hopefully everybody's going to be wearing your name badges. I know that Clark got one sent to him here last week. Dan Sclair, who had sent me just a wonderful, beautiful magic wand, which I'll probably show you again a little bit later. I'm so happy and proud of that thing. From Ellington, Connecticut. Thank you for being here. And Donovan West from Abbotsford. Wait a minute. I better put on my glasses. What does it say? Abbotsford, BC, on Canada. Okay, so glad you're here with us too from across the border. So yeah, John changed his name from JG to John. We got it. There we go. Iola. It's not. I say it's not Lola. It's Iola. Oh, it's an I. Got it. Thank you, Phil. So now we got that straight. Hope all is going well with you, my friend. Who else we got? Of course, Clark. Yeah, is here. Yep, you got your badge on in the office. Excellent. Okay, we're about 20 seconds away, and we're starting to get a little bit of a room full. We're going to be having a lot of fun here this evening, and some different things that are going on. I'm going to see if I can get these things at my fingertips, so that way we can get ready. Hopefully, you guys got your glasses so that we chilled, and your martini shaker nearby, so this way you can keep that thing replenished for this evening, because we're going to be having a great time. And Ken Jones is here. Then hello, it's time to start. Oh,
it's Thursday night. You know what that means. It's time for Magic and Martinis. Please welcome your host, Scott Wells.
All right. Yes.
Yes, mother's milk. That is just some delicious stuff. And a little bit of dinner there also with 3 olives, of course, with blue cheese. Thank you, Janya Taylor, who kind of turned me on to that. So it's delicious. And so I hope you guys have got your drinks prepared with you nearby as well, because we're going to be having some fun, because we're actually going to be visiting a lounge tonight. And of course, the lounge has drinks, and they've got their own special kinds of concoctions. And we're going to be talking about some of those drinks that they have that are special drinks for there. Let's see, somebody else just jumped in. Oh, Jerry Costello. Hey, Jerry. Glad to have you. Excuse me, in here. And yep, be seeing you on Saturday. You're just going to be having the one party instead of the 2 this year. And Steve Kerdolfer, there's my man. Man, where have you been? Yeah, we need to be talking to you about some of the things you've been involved with and the shows that you've been doing. You finally open next month. So congratulations. Come back in and tell me what the name of the show is and the other gentleman that you're working with, Steve. I'd like to just kind of give that a shout out then too. Yeah, Ken Jones. Yeah, said hello. Glad that you're here. couple things I mentioned there a while ago about your badges. If you guys have not yet got your badges, you should go over to tinyurl.com/tiny badges. And that way you will be able to download a badge, and it's going to be looking like that. So this way that you're going to, like, there we go, like this, there we go. And if you're just going to this tinyurl.com, that some people have had a problem with the dot, so be sure you have the .com/M for Magic and Martini badge over there, and you'll get something that looks like that. There we go. And also there are some people who, instead of that, they had their own badges made up, like mine. I had my own badge made up, which then I can wear since we can't be together at conventions, but we will be soon. We can have these virtual badges, have real badges to join this virtual convention, and had a few people who have sent them in. Dan Sclair is one guy there at his tiki bar, and he's got looks like a beer stein handy with him. And we talk about Jerry Costello. There he is with Don Weiberg then as well, wearing their badges appropriately. And then we've got David Harbour and John Keever, and let's see who else we got over here. Robin Byers-Pierce, Ron Sitnick, we've got their badges. And then Harriet Jacobson, Mark Rich. I don't think Harriet's going to be able to join us tonight. She had another obligation, I think, with her kids here this evening. I talked with her earlier today. Wayne Taylor, Clark Arledge. Just said Clark was one of the newest people who happened to get his name badge. He had sent something to me, and I've sent these things out to a few other people. And if you want a badge, all you have to do is just to send me an email. And you can do that, let's see, by sending that over there to scott@themagicwordpodcast.com. And I can prepare and send you a badge. And that'll be some fun. You will enjoy for a while we're still going to be doing this. I don't know how much longer. Well, I can tell you exactly how much longer. We're going to get to that here shortly, because I believe that right now we are starting to get back to the point where we're going to be able to go to conventions. And I do have these plans, again, going to Abbott's and then to the Collectors Expo in Vegas, and then to TAOM and to Magi Fest, and then to Tricks in North Carolina, one thing after the other. So you just might start anticipating by the end of July, I'm going to be starting to wrap this up, because we're starting to, the whole point of this was to try to get together virtually, since we get together physically. Well, now we're starting to do that, just as Steve Cadolfer had said. He's starting to have his shows. Chicago Magic Lounge starting to have all their shows. So and many of the people I'm trying to get on shows are out to sea. They're going on ships. They got shows. They're working or whatever. So it's harder to get some guests to come in. So towards the end of July, because of their schedule and mine, we're going to shut this down. I think today, this is the 56th week or so we've been doing this. So we've been doing it for well over a year. I've been having a lot of fun in doing it. I'm glad that you guys have been along for the ride, and it's been so much fun. Steve, first of all, there, hey, Mike, yep. You will see me at Abbott's. I will definitely be there. Okay, Steve Cadolfer is saying, Joel Acevedo. That's right, 9 years. One of those was during the end times, however. Okay, yes. And thank you very much. I appreciate that, Steve. And Jerry, maybe do an Abbott convention. We're definitely going to be giving daily reports. So this way, if you guys have not subscribe to the pod letter, I suggest you do. And that way you'll know who we're going to be having from week to week. This week on the podcast, by the way, Katrina Crutch is the one who we had as my guest, and I've been hearing and receiving a lot of really great compliments from people who have been watching this show, or rather listening to this particular episode. She was in Houston passing through recently, and when she did, she gave me a call and came over to the house. We had lunch, we chatted for a while, and she's very effervescent. She's just one of those up-and-comers. If you don't know who she is, you will after you've listened to this. In fact, Stan Allen said, I don't often listen to the whole podcast, but this is one I heard all the way to the end. So I know you guys will enjoy this then too. So be sure to listen to that one. I know that you're going to enjoy it. And as I was mentioning also about these other things, this was something pretty cool. I received this magic wand from Dan Sclair right here, and I want to show you that. I want to thank again. Yeah, that's the tip of the magic wand, which is just right over there. And so that's what that looks like with the SAM logo. It's a pin on both ends of that, and then the wand looks like that. The Magic of Scott Wells and Scotty Out, and it's got my pictures on that. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. That was so very cool. Now here's something else, just by the way, I happen to see sometimes you get these things on Facebook or on Instagram where they will be selling something. And the nerd I am, I decided to get one of these emblems to put on my car. I thought this was really cool. that it says TARDIS Chameleon Edition. For those who know, those who don't, then it's not so funny. But hopefully you will appreciate that. I thought that was really kind of cool. So yeah, I've got this, and so I'm going to take the sticker off the back and put that on my car, and people will go, "What?" Some of the people, anyhow, you get the idea. So that's a little fun thing that I had. Well, listen, we got some guests coming in tonight, and you've heard enough of me. And if you want to hear more from me, and I don't know why you would, but if you do, and so. Dan, thank you for giving me your welcome. You're right. You can listen to more of me over on the podcast. Just go over and listen to me chatter quite a bit with guests, and particularly again this week with Katrina. So I highly recommend that you go and hear that. Last week I had Dr. Eric Kaleri about the Houdini collection. I'll give you a sneak preview. Next week I'm going to be talking with Chris Walden, who goes by Saul Ravencraft. He's going to be talking about storytelling, being a bizarrist, and so how he came out as a bizarrist. Didn't sound, anyhow, you'll enjoy that one then too. A lot of stuff coming up. And then Michael Chout talking about Chicago, the Monday Night Magic. And I just got back from Branson over the last few days and got to talk with Rick Thomas and also with Gary Carson, saw their shows. And so we'll have some great episodes coming up. Just giving you guys a sneak preview of kind of what's coming up. Okay, well, what's coming up then right now are some awesome guests. And I'm so happy and thrilled and honored, first of all, to call them my friends, and also that they took the time to be with us here tonight. So I want to bring on the first person over here to begin with. And this little bit of a video will tell you something about him. I love it. I don't think I've ever seen a reel that says you'll be flummoxed. I love that word, flummoxed.
No, yeah, it's not good, but it happens a lot.
People are flummoxed. I love it. Welcome. Good to see you there. Glad that you're here then, Justin. Yeah. Cheers to you.
Yeah. Oh, cheers. Yeah.
What are you drinking there?
It's some Glenfiddich.
Oh, some single malt.
I put ice in it like a heathen. But.
Yeah, kind of a dweeb on that one. Yeah. If you put it should be a small ice chip, if anything, to kind of release the heat and also the flavor on that a little bit. But
well,
yeah.
I don't know. They had some fancy ice cubes, so
it's hard to say no to that.
I tried a fancy ice cube.
Well, I know that you've been busy, and we're going to talk about all of that and more in just a few minutes, but let's get to the next guest over here then now, and I think this is the one that will introduce him. Well, there he is, Luis Curion. How are you, Louis?
I am doing great. Thank you so much for having me.
Well, you're welcome. I am so glad to talk with you here. When I was calling Chicago Magic, Magic Inc. the other day about something, and I got you on the phone. I was calling Pedro about something, and I got you. I thought, oh my gosh, I haven't talked to you in such a long time, and you were just the perfect guest. Oh. And you're the first one. I actually kind of put this show around you. It's kind of like I want Louis, and whoever else is going to be just gravy to me. You know, the icing. I love you, man. So,
thank you so much, God.
It's so. It's so good to see you. I'm so glad that you're here. In fact, I want to give another shout out. I was just noticing over here, and the people who were giving a little bit of love to us. In fact, if you want to, I would please suggest you might show us some love. Just hit the like button. I noticed that actually Rudy Kobe just hit the love button, and I want to give a big shout out to Rudy because I know he'd been in the hospital, had a little bit of problem apparently, and he's doing much better. It's been about a month ago, and some of you might have seen that then on Facebook. He's doing better, and so glad to read that. So I'm glad that he's going to be back on all 4 feet soon. So keep it up, Rudy, and we love you, man. You keep well, just like we love you too, Louis. Thanks very much for being here. What are you drinking tonight there?
You know what? I'm actually doing some tequila, Don Julio.
Don Julio. Is
right.
that añejo? Or?
This is Reposado on the rocks.
Reposado on the rocks. Okay, man, you know how to drink. You and Justin, I tell you. Okay, let's bring in our final guest over here. And this will tell you about this person too. And there he is. There is the owner, proprietor, general manager, and the general cook and bottle washer, Joey Cranford. Hey there, Joey.
Hey, thanks so much, Scott. It's so good to see you virtually.
Yes.
I miss the run-ins that we've had over the years.
Well, let's not say run-ins. That sounds like a negative thing, that we've had.
Well, then drive better.
Joyous.
Is what I'm saying.
Joyous occasions together, my friend. Cheers
Yes.
to you. Last time I think we're sitting at the Alligator Bar there at the Orleans, I think, when we were.
Actually, yeah.
Yeah, it was way too long, so I'm glad we're kind of reconnecting through there. What are you drinking tonight then, Joey?
I'm a wino, so I'm drinking some Spanish wine, a little Vino Rioja. Wait, did I say that? Vino Rioja.
Okay.
It's red wine.
It's red wine. That's close enough. Cheers to you, then, my friend. I noticed that Harriet just came in, by the way. I thought she was going to be running later than this, but she's.
Hi, Harriet. We miss you.
We do miss Harriet, and so we'll see her at Abbott's also. Are you going to be going to the Abbott's to the Colon this year?
Me?
Yes.
I am opening a theater that weekend.
We'll talk about that. I wonder about that. So that would be.
Yeah. I'm gonna miss it this year.
Yeah. Speaking of having a theater, wouldn't that be really cool? Of having all three of you guys actually in the same place instead of actually me having to do this because it's so difficult. I wish through the power of magic we could do something to make that happen. What? Wait a minute. Oh my gosh! What just happened there?
Wow,
we are. I thought they all had their own red curtains, and I was super jealous.
Send me here.
Well, cheers, guys. So glad that we're all together, at least you guys in the same room and me all the way down in Houston in my little room over here then, too. So cheers. Let me have a quick drink. And
Scott, I do want to ask you, so in Houston, now, not a lot of people know, I'm a Texan. And I'm from a little town outside of Houston. So anytime I meet someone from Houston and we talk about Houston, we have to go, really, Houston? Like Houston? Where are you from? Katy? Spring? Like, so where are you in Houston?
I can't be more close to downtown. I'm exactly 2.5 miles from the city center.
Gessner area?
Oh no, that's way the heck out. That's like out towards Katy, and there. I mean, no, that's 20.
Gessner and Westheimer is like, oh, the burbs. Ugh.
Yeah,
what are
that's
you?
like
What are you
20,
from the Galleria
20 miles.
area?
No, the Galleria even is 15, 20 minutes, away from me. I mean, I'm
That's
way
funny.
in town. In fact, when I go out for a walk in the mornings, I go out for my 4-mile walk. I walk downtown and back. Basically.
So you're in that famously cosmopolitan part of Houston.
I am. It's very nice. The reason I bought here was because I was going to be close to the theater district and also like dozens of restaurants, great restaurants all around me.
You're in your Jones Hall and the alley, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
In fact, I remember going to the Illusionists when they were in town, and I was talking with David Williamson, and I said, look, I can pick you up and bring you back to the hotel. I mean, it's easier. It'll be just as fast for me as it would be an Uber to come and pick you up, and I'd be glad to do it. I'll meet you at the stage door, and I'll drive you the 6 blocks over to the Hyatt, because it takes me 4 minutes to get downtown and get you in 2 minutes to get over there. So he said, okay, I'll do that. So we chat. So it was that way. He didn't, because he said, I was going to walk back after this. Anyhow. So yeah, I'm very close to, I'm like the real deal, really downtown. Speaking of drinks, I do want to get into the drinks just a little bit about that, because this is a virtual happy hour kind of a thing. And you were telling me earlier then, Joey, about how that you guys have got these different kind of drinks. I know, like the Magic Castle has the NPH, that Neil Patrick Harris drink, which is awesome. But you guys have got something else. Tell me about some of your signature drinks.
Yeah, so when we opened, we knew that we wanted everything elevated. I mean, everything about the Chicago Magic Lounge is a truly elevated experience. So we consulted with one of the best bar. He runs beverage programs for Michelin-starred restaurants in Chicago, and he is not a magic person at all. And he ended up creating these amazing drinks. We have a drink called the Dark Arts, which is a nice dark bourbon-based drink. It's served neat and just gorgeous. We have a drink called the Sleight of Hand. It's basically because it kind of sneaks up on you. You don't see it coming.
Like a little guy with a hammer.
Yeah. No, it hits you in the face with the hammer. It's gin based, but it's locally sourced gin. That's Leatherby from Chicago, and a lot of citrus elements in there. So there's no booze. You just really don't taste it, and that's kind of what we do with our signature cocktails. You know, we got the very best mixologists to truly make some stuff. My favorite is the Smoke and Mirrors. It's a mezcal based drink with a little absinthe rinse in there. Lewis knows it well. And it's got a burst. So it's a you know, when you come in, it's a production of a drink. There's a flame that happens with with the natural citrus juices. So you light the orange peel up and then squeeze it down, and this burst of flame happens, and they serve it up. It's really great.
Well, that was kind of like in that video we saw then to begin with, where
that was the Smoke and Mirrors. During the pandemic, I learned how to make that drink, and I captured it, and no one was around. So I went to my security camera footage, and I found I was like, no one was around. I was like, my security camera saw it, and I looked at it, and I was like, yes.
That was good quality too,
because I got the flame, and so I have on my phone is a still of me making the.
I'll have to believe it when I see it.
All right, I'll get my phone out.
Okay. Now, we were saving the best for last, because there's one that has to do with Houdini.
Yeah, it's a it's a drink. The drink is basically it's called What Killed Houdini. It's a dark reference, and it's a rum punch.
Paige.
Hey, Paige.
Hey, Paige.
Isn't Paige supposed to be here?
Yeah. We have
He's
Justin instead
working.
of Paige. You know, if Paige was
Paige is
here,
actually working.
seriously.
I thought Paige was working also. That's why I had to pull that up. And she says, "Miss you guys." It's like, wait a
Check
minute.
your IP address. It better be in Jersey. If it's not. Well, it's so our drink about Houdini is a play on a rum punch, and it's just it's boozy, very boozy, but you don't taste it, which is great, and it's got some tea elements and some juice elements, and all of our juices are hand squeezed here at the lounge, and we enjoy the cocktails here.
So I wanted to ask you then also, Justin, in the beginning of that, it looked like that there was some sort of Jim Cox also society. That's, Dave Cox's dad. Jim's down the road there in Springfield. Anyhow, so Justin, it looked like you were working then at some sort of of another restaurant. It looks like there wasn't the Magic Lounge.
Well, it's an arcade bar. Yeah.
Okay, tell me about what that's like as far as what the noise level is for that.
Oh, well, it's loud, but I'm pretty loud, so it's okay. But it's not like deafeningly loud. It's a pretty large space, and it's all wood, a lot of wood interior. So you can definitely hear. It's not the most deafening environment.
So an arcade bar, is that something where people actually come in and then they pay a set price and they can play all the games they want or something? Or what?
I think he runs them on Tuesday nights. I think it's just like, there's a quarter machine and you can, then you got some skin in the game. It's like the real way.
Has Houston not caught up on the arcade bar? I mean,
we don't have the arcade bar, but we've got some arcades you can go to, which are pretty cool. You just pay a price and you can play for all day, or you can buy a monthly fee.
There's no kids anywhere, so it's wonderful.
It's a bar. It's 21 plus.
And they bring in games like Dig Dug and like Galaga. And these old school and all just massive pinballs and stuff.
Cabinet arcades, real pinball, and also like some kind of boutique interesting games like that gamers create and they make like these like
indie style games.
Like Killer Queen, where it's like team on team and all these crazy
like Frogger,
like Frogger, these crazy games. Pac-Man. I don't know if you heard of it. It's crazy. But so no, it's fun. It's a fun environment. Everyone's there to have fun anyway.
So now, when you're performing for some folks, Joey, you want to hit that camera over there for Justin for just a second?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So Justin, boy, that's cool. It's like feel like I'm a WLS over here, and I'm in the control booth telling the switcher, what to do, the AD guy. Anyhow, so Justin, as far as the you said the noise factor is kind of loud, but are you working behind the bar? You go table to table or over?
I have a sort of my own table little setup next to the bar. So it's right near the bar, but it's basically bar height. And so people can kind of get a cocktail and come over and watch.
So you have a set place where people come to see you rather than you going over to see them.
Yeah, exactly. If it was a very slow night, I might try and stalk some people down and get them to come over. But usually I just kind of set up and people come over and watch at their leisure. So.
Well, what's one of your best experiences of working there? And how long have you been there? For 2 years or what?
Oh, I've many years before probably close
before the pandemic.
Yeah. I don't know. Like interesting people will come in, like
celebrities. I mean, sometimes like Michael Jordan or somebody, or
people, artsy kind of people.
Oh.
Like Jay Howell. I remember a cartoonist who kind of designed was the images behind Bob's Burgers and that kind of stuff. Like this cartoonist came in, and it's just really interesting hanging out with these people that are kind of like artsy and interesting, and like a lot of the staff from the Onion would always come in, and they were like regulars, and I'd always be showing them stuff and kind of joking around with these like really funny people who write for the Onion.
Is the Onion in out of Chicago?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I've always enjoyed that. It's a great publication.
No, it's, one of the top satire sites there are. But it's just kind of a cool vibe. It's much more low key than the lounge.
Yeah.
In the sense that it's not, it's more of a jeans and t-shirt kind of place. But
right.
But it's definitely fun that's why I like doing it, just as a contrast. That's why I've kind of held on to the gig. But hopefully it'll start back up. They're just opening up now again on kind of a limited schedule. So everything's kind of getting slow to open here in Chicago. But
slowly, yeah. Switch back over just a second, if you would, Joey, over to Lewis. Lewis, I was going to ask you about the Magic Inc. then as well. I remember they had a fundraiser kind of a deal a while back that I contributed to and joined to watch. Wanted to try to do what my part to keep the thing going. And so, what have they been doing of late? Have they actually been open during this whole time? Did they shut down for a couple months? And what's that actually been like over there?
So first of all, thank you to all the Magic community for supporting Magic Inc. But I kind of want to give you a little bit of the background before that came to happen.
Please do.
So really, it was Paige Thompson who came up with the idea. How about we do a show for Magic Inc. And I was like, that's a great idea. So originally it was just going to be me and Paige, and then Joey stepped into the game, and the Chicago Magic now stepped into the game and helped out Magic Inc. But shout outs to Paige Thompson, because she was really the one who came up with the idea of it. But after that, so far Magic Inc. We're still around, of course. Just like any magic shop, if magicians are not doing magic shows, they don't need to buy a piece of rope. They don't need to buy mud coils. So thank you so much for the community and the support. So far, we're still good, and we hope to keep going for the rest of the many years to come. So, but yeah, thank you so much for the Magic Lounge page, because that was the main idea.
Yeah. Yeah, like Mark Holstein said, I grew up in Magic Inc., and I'm sure there are a lot of other people who could say a similar kind of a thing, you know?
I mean, as a magician, Magic Inc. has published a lot of gold mines. I mean, even if it's even if it's a small pamphlet, those things are just gold mines to magicians. So thank you so much for the community. On my behalf and Magic Inc., we really appreciate what you guys have done for us, and thank you so much for your love and support.
Yeah, well, you're welcome, and that was certainly a very nice kind of thing they did as far as a fundraiser for that. I mean, to have, didn't David Copperfield come in on that even? It seems like there were a lot of big names.
Yeah, I mean, David Copperfield, we have Penn and Teller, Matt King, and the talent recruitment. Really, the Chicago Magic Lounge really did it. So, really, the Chicago Magic Lounge, they made it what it could have been a good event into an awesome event. So the Chicago Magic Lounge gets a big prop for that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And Sandy Marshall has been the one who owns that since came from his dad, I guess. And so, but he's been busy kind of working also in New York, and he's been kind of having a tough year too, I guess, because he was producing, what was that, the show?
So as far as I know, so one of the biggest things that, Sandy produced was the Play Network with Bryan Cranston. If you guys know Bryan Cranston from Breaking Bad.
Breaking Bad, of course.
That's like a big thing. So I mean, that's a pretty amazing opportunity to work with an actor of that high caliber. So yeah, Sandy Marshall has been in Hall of Magic Inc. for ever since Jay passed away.
Yep. Hold on just a second. I'm just refreshing my martini over here.
Sure. Yeah.
I can't.
My tequila.
Do two things.
What are you thinking of, buddy?
He said he was drinking some a martini.
Yes, I'm sorry. I'm drinking a martini. I just had to pour that.
A gin martini, right?
Yeah.
No, this is a vodka martini. Gin seems to give me a headache and a stomach ache the next day, but vodka I can drink all night, pretty much. Yeah, without too much repercussion over there. Yeah. So, well, anyhow, glad that they're open. Glad they're doing well, and thank you for saying that about the community and supporting them. So
thank you so much for everyone who tuned in because
everything's kind of coming back together. Things are reopening, shows are reopening, and then tell me, Joey, as far as going back to you over here with the lounge opening, when's the official date for reopening?
The actual date is August 2nd. We're doing a whole grand opening week. Thursday night is our big press night. Thursdays kind of share a history with us and how the Chicago Magic Lounge got started. So we have always looked to celebrate big events on a Thursday, but we're bringing it back. It's been a long time, 16 months of just maintaining a building and maintaining a brand. But we're real excited to bring this show back live on August 2nd.
And in doing that, that's going to be, of course, not just the stage show, but you're going to be having the 654 Club that'll be opening for a close-up and everything then too.
Oh yeah, no,
I mean the whole place is open.
Yeah, a lot of people kind of confuse us with having separate rooms and how that works. The 654 is part of our signature show. So if you come into the Magic Lounge and you have a ticket, you could see the whole show, which is an hour of close-up magic at your tables. There's about 5 or 6 magicians just roaming around the theater, doing the magic at your table, Chicago style, as God intended. And then then the MC comes out and hosts a show with a feature spot and a headliner spot. And the people who are seated up close in the premium areas, and this reopening, we're including the front row, the second row, and everyone on the kind of the main floor. Those 40 seats are then invited back to the 654 Club, which is a close-up theater in Chicago, and it's 40 seats. It's absolutely gorgeous, and that is where you'll meet another magician for the night who is going to then present close-up magic the way it is. Yeah, it's great. And for the rest of the patrons who are not in that premium level, they just go back out to the magic bar. Now, on any given night, there might be room at the bar, there might not be. On a Friday and Saturday, it gets a little crowded in the bar because the next group is coming in. So the early show is letting out while the people who are arriving for the 10 o'clock show are coming in, and it's just a madhouse out there. So, sometimes the night's over after they see the headliner, and granted, that's a lot of magic. They've already seen 2 hours, so they might go out, or they can hang out at the bar. It's a really kind of an all-inclusive night, depending on your ticket level.
Ron Sitting had asked about who's the opener? Who's going to be opening up that week?
Oh man, well, Louis, you're headlining, and Justin's opening, and I believe Paige is in the back. If she is actually in New Jersey, she's watching live tonight and makes it home safe. But yeah, you are looking. You are looking at the trifecta. But imagine me with bright pink hair and really great magic. Yeah, but yeah, and there's a reason behind that, Scott. I mean the years that the 2 years that we were really open here at the Chicago Magic Lounge, we were just amazingly humbled by how much talent came into our doors. And what started with an idea that I had, and I knew 7 magicians at the time, and I thought that was a lot of magicians. I was like, wow, I know 7 people who do magic.
High number of magicians.
Yeah, and I didn't even know Justin at that time, and Justin came in, and I was like, now I know 8 magicians. But over the years, Benjamin Barnes is our entertainment director, and he has just filled these walls with the most amazing magical talent from all over the world, and it's just been incredible. But over these last 16 months, because it is a lot. We went into the virtual world like many people. We ended up doing these virtual cocktail hours, which involved there were always 2 people in-house and then 2 people overseas, or in New York or LA, or in Europe or in South America. And 2 of the most loyal to us, because they were just there, they were hungry, and Justin has a kid, so he needed the money. So we these were our most loyal virtual shows, and so the people who really tuned in for those months of virtual shows saw Louis and Justin quite a bit, and Paige as well. And so we thought, what a cool way to welcome back live entertainment by bringing our virtual people back live for our first week, and really basing it on Chicago talent.
Well, tell me about how those shows worked as far as what you were doing with the virtual shows. Were you selling tickets for that? Were they available through Zoom? And what I want to get into is all of the technical stuff that you had to actually overcome and to get caught up to speed and understand and learn about Ecamm and that streaming box and all the other cams and lights and everything. So tell me about that.
Well, the in the early days, when March 16th, 2020, Chicago was closed, go home and wait for further instructions. We immediately were like, well, what are we going to do? We're people, we're creative people, and we have to share all of this. And so we started doing a Zoom magic show, and we would just very simply spotlight another person on Zoom, spotlight the next person on Zoom, and if we wanted audience involvement, we would spotlight the audience member, and then we'd spotlight the magician. And we were all at home doing this, and I remember Justin being at home doing this, and Louis, were you at home?
Yeah, my bed was not even made on the background,
Yeah, just like sitting in front of your bookcase.
By my bookcase, it was like ramen noodle on top of the bed. Yeah, it was a big mess. Yeah.
And then we slowly started making our way back. Once the stay-at-home order was lifted, we ventured back into the theater, and we wore our masks around everybody. We were very, very cautious.
Yeah,
we're sitting this close together because every performer at the Chicago Magic Lounge must be vaccinated, and every employee at the Chicago Magic Lounge will be vaccinated, and every audience member will be vaccinated. So it's you
don't require them to show vaccination papers. Or
No,
anything.
it's a self attestation. So it's a box you click, and if you want to lie to me, that's between you and your God.
I know
apparently.
magic tricks, people.
Yeah.
You know?
But so we ventured out of our homes. We came back here, and there was one event that was really kind of a game changer for us. John Lovett was doing an event, and he was part of our thing, and he introduced us to what he was doing with Ecamm, and we slowly
put the video on you, by the way. Go ahead. There you go.
I like that. So we would, so John would, he showed us how to do this thing with Ecamm, and so we started playing with it. We wanted to perfect it. You've seen me in rehearsal. You know what I am. I'm a perfectionist with
yes.
technology.
OCD.
Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah.
I am too, to a degree. Yeah.
And so we started realizing what we could do with it, and how it could improve our shows. And by the end of it, we were I was able to bring in 2 different spectators from Zoom. So if we'd have one household over in this box here, we'd have another spectator at a different home in this box here. We'd have Justin performing here, close up, and then maybe a window down here would be his face doing the close up. Lewis on the stage with a couple of spectators as well. And so we really pushed the technology level. We didn't have a budget, so I just bought some, as much as I could, cameras, computers. We learned the Mac Minis are great, but if you have dual cores, you're worthless. I need quad cores. I need the M1 chip. But we really stretched the bounds of technology and really pushed our limits with Ecamm, and I made some really good friends in the Ecamm community.
And I understand. Tell me about that Ecamm as far as how good you actually are.
Well, I didn't have time to grab my trophy, but I did earn the coveted, highly coveted, and anyone who's watching this and is a part of those Ecamm,
community
worlds, I got the Ecamm mug. It sits on my desk, and honestly, like 15. Hey, Rob, we're okay. We're okay.
No, you're incredible.
But 15 months later, I got this Ecamm mug about them recognizing us for our achievements, and just where we started and how far we came along. It was just so much fun. And they acknowledged our work with this Ecamm mug, which among the Ecammers is a trophy to put on the desk. So it's up on my desk, and
as Rob says, you're an Ecamm guru. So there you go.
Well, I mean, so there's a lot of us, and this is what I love about working in the Chicago community is that since the Chicago Magic Lounge started, it's always been community first, and so we all got together and we were like, what are we all doing here? And so we all got together and we shared our tips, our secrets, our trades, and we were like, well, have you tried this? Have you tried that? Yes, I'm getting this feedback. Have you tried this? Yes, there's a delay here. Have you tried this? So there's acronyms that are beyond me at this point of what we learned during the pandemic on how to make a good virtual show. So Rob was actually a big part of our shows here. He would come here, and what I love about Rob, and I'm going to call you out, Rob. I learned all of these tricks. I learned all of these little secrets, and Rob would come in and do none of them. He would just be like, just point the camera at me. I've got the magic show right here. And there was no picture-in-picture. There was no audience involvement. There was nothing I needed to do. It was just Rob just being amazing, but just to the camera. And I was like, Rob, you could have recorded this and sent it in. Why did you? Why? And he's just, all I wanted to be out. I
wanted to be out there.
The place.
Yeah. Well, speaking of missing the place and trying to keep the place open during this past 18 months, and as I said, we're going to be bringing this Magic and Martinis virtual happy hour kind of to a conclusion by the end of July, because we're kind of coming out of this. You said August 2nd starting to open. During that time, you also were able, then don't forget your badge, by the way. Everybody wear your badge to come to the bar. You have also applied for federal funding. And so tell me a little bit about some of the theaters and how that you can keep open with that. I think that's kind of interesting as well.
Yeah. So in order to keep all of this alive, there was a grant that was proposed, right? So everybody knows when the world shut down, PPP started, and every business that you've worked for has gotten this PPP, the Paycheck Protection Program, and then the owners of these businesses would then help their employees to just stay home, get paid, and that was it. And that was a nice 8-week thing. And so we were able to do that for all of our employees. We have 42 people that work for the Chicago Magic Lounge. That is our employees. And then we were also able to extend our own personal benefits to some of the local magicians who were going to be out of work unexpectedly. So we helped them out for about a month and a half, as much as we could. And then we looked for other grants. Chicago had a grant. It was a small grant, but it helped us. Illinois had a grant called the Business Interruption Grant that helped us through for about 3 months just to keep the lights on and keep our core team employed. But the big one out there, it was an effort by a group that started the initiative of Save Our Stages, and they were anywhere from Broadway in New York to a community theater in Texas. It was actually sponsored by a Texas, conservative Texas representative, and A.B. Klobuchar on the left side there, and it was all just this big thing that got pushed through in December, and it kind of it hit during a transitional period, obviously, and then with the latest Economic Aid Act from Biden's campaign, Biden's White House, they pushed it through, lifted up the funds just a little bit, and then they started rolling these funds out. It was a disaster. Can I say that?
Sure.
It was more stressful. If you knew me at that time, I had nothing kind to say to you or to anyone in the world. It was just such a stressful time for theater owners. And they finally started releasing these funds. The application started in April, which it was supposed to start in March, and then it failed. The site wouldn't allow you to upload any documents. So then finally later April, 3 weeks later, they allowed you to upload the documents, and then it was a month before anybody heard anything. But the promise was that you would get 45% of your gross receipts from 2019. And as a business, no matter what size you operate in, 45% of that is a lifesaver.
How can you say no? Yeah,
that's what you need, and that's what you need to operate, and that's what you need to survive. And we were lucky to have passed through that, and that's our final relief bill from all of the COVID stuff. There is a supplemental amount that will be coming later if they get it together. But there's a lot of theaters that have been working through this, and a lot of magic. I've met some people in magic through this that I didn't know before, but we were all in the boat together. The Monday Night Magic just got theirs, which is really great. But their theater is struggling to get theirs, and so this is a real problem. But the money is there. If you qualify, you should get it. And
qualify and ask for it. It sounds like kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Well, listen, one of the other things too, as we get closer here, I just look at the clock. Oh my gosh, for our happy hour, we're moving right along over here. And I want you, if you can, show us a little bit of the theater itself. Is it possible you can give us a little tour there?
Yeah, I think so. Did you have anything else for the group before we leave? We're literally not on a time crunch. We have done. We've only seen each other.
We don't have a job.
You do have a job. August 2nd, he has a job. So
And how many nights a week, Louis, will you be working then?
Oh, I'll be here too many times. Too much. Too much. I'll be like, you know what? We don't need to see the Mexican guy anymore.
No, so
guy.
Yeah, so if he's not headlining, he's going to be on the tables. I think you have basically a 5-day a week. This is your job.
Yeah, I'll be here. You can catch me here pretty much 6 nights a week, unless
Six
I'm
nights.
out of town. So
And then Justin, what about you?
Well, I'm usually here 4 nights, and then I do the Logan thing. So yeah.
And he's got a baby at home.
I got a baby. So.
Yeah.
Oh, really? How old's the baby?
He's 2.
And what's his name?
Soren.
Soren.
Yeah.
I like that. So you are going to be continuing to work over there at the arcade bar.
I believe so. As long as we.
So Justin's so humble about this gig.
Yeah.
So the Chicago Reader, if you know Chicago, there's a magazine called The Reader. It's kind of like the Austin Chronicle, or if you've been to Austin, you know that. But it's the like kind of hip, cutting edge. They follow all the concerts and all that. And Justin was just voted best bar magician.
Well, Best Bar Magician is from Chicago Magazine.
Was that Chicago Magazine?
Chicago
Oh, that's right, because AJ
5
was
years
best
ago.
bar magician.
Reader, called me runner-up to Best Magician.
Well, do you work behind the bar, or is Jeff the only one who works behind that bar?
Oh no.
Jeff Bibick.
I'll do the bar whenever I can. It's a lot of fun. I mean, bar magic's probably the most fun kind of magic.
It really is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
It's a different kind of magic working behind a bar versus working in a restaurant.
yeah.
Yeah, we've got Jeff Bibick is the epitome of Chicago style magic. It's just funny, it's fast, it's hilarious, it's a little crude at some points, but it's not.
Bibick's the
but
one.
but it's not cancel culture type thing. But it's a lot of jokes, a lot of bits. Justin, magic is real. That is him.
Thank you, Rob.
But then there's we have Devin Brown, who works our late night bar, which is we have a lot of bar
I'll say though,
betches.
Bibick I'll watch. Bibick, you can tell they're good because the other magicians will sit there and watch Bibick.
And they've seen the act. They've seen the act.
I'll go up to get a drink and I'll stay for the end of the routine if Bibick's up there.
Well, it's not so much a trick because you know what the end of the routine is going to be. It's what he has to say and the way he interacts with the audience.
And you just want to see the audience's reaction to the stupid, the stupid joke or whatever. You're like, I just want to see how this crowd is going to react to what he's about to say.
But he also so the stupid joke is coming. But then if there's something in between, he will. It's just like, how is he going to handle tonight?
Yeah.
Justin is right. A lot of the times it will be me, Justin, and Paige watching just Jeff Bibick on the bar, and we'll just be laughing about things that we've seen so many times. But the way people react to it's like the best part of it. That's just like.
Oh, I meant to tell you. So the other night, so we have to show that we're open on Google, so that our box office can show that we're open. But we had a group of 4 people come in, and they were asking, can we come in? And we're like, well, we're not really open. The box office is open, but we're opening August 2nd. And they were like, but we want to come in. We want to see a show, but we really want to know if that bar magician's going to be back. We don't remember his name.
They don't remember Jeff, but they remember.
They don't remember. Yeah, but this is the thing. And sing along if you know the song. They said he's the guy that goes with he has these sponge bunnies, and he goes bunnies, bunnies. But it's that, and Bibick is the in so much way of the epitome of bar magic.
You'll watch him do sponge bunnies.
Yeah,
I mean, that's what I'm saying.
So you'll come in, you'll come in, you'll watch the sponge bunnies. And then, as a layman, you'll come in, you'll see someone, you'll be like, this is incredible. This guy's hilarious. So then you'll bring your friends back. You've seen the act twice, but you want to watch your friends watch his act.
Their reaction, sure.
I think that's sort of the core of the Chicago bar magic ethos is you bring your friend back to be like, see how he sneaks the card under the glass, or it's just like you want to see your friend's reaction.
I'm good, but this guy's better.
Yeah. And it's not necessarily, and that's what I love about Chicago style magic is it's not necessarily like, it's the most, it's not like Ed Marlowe never stepped behind a bar and was like, let me show you some, could you imagine Ed Marlowe with the.
Ed Marlowe used to work in arcade.
Well, yeah, it wasn't real arcade.
Oh,
but anyways, but you know what I mean? Like,
it was that book, Arcade Dreams.
Yeah, Arcade Dreams. Yeah, but Treasure Island, they did have a pinball thing upstairs.
But it was we're gonna show you some of the Magic Lounge, okay?
Yeah. So Scott, you said you wanted to see some of the Magic Lounge itself.
I kind of do, but I love what you guys were talking in that interaction. It was great. I was just staying out of the way.
The thing is, one thing that I think like not a lot of people understand is the history of Chicago style magic And
Please
and-
talk about that, because I know that is where they actually sit at a table. We've talked about that on the episodes of the podcast on several occasions. But that's another thing. I know at the Magic Lounge that you do talk about the Chicago Magic style of Chicago Magic, but also you have you're keeping alive the Chicago Round Table, which is another thing, I guess, that you can join, which harkens back to the older days of that. So I kind of wanted you to talk just a bit about that then too, guys.
Sure. So when we first got started, you got to be somewhere, Justin.
Justin, you got something?
I knew where. I'm gonna start a timer on the story. I just thought maybe I'll know what the time is.
All right. So, all right.
Go to the close-up shot and all that.
You can go drink.
You can do it on camera.
Oh, okay. It's really fascinating. You're gonna like it.
Oh God. So when
We usually got to pay money for this. Is what I'm saying.
And this is free.
Yeah.
I'm paying for it right now.
Yeah, you'll pay for it tomorrow too.
Finish the bottle.
That's this was a gift to him tonight, and it was he wanted the 20-year scotch. So apparently
20-year. Well, when he was saying he was having a single malt, I thought, wow, Joey's really putting on the dog here. He's putting
he said, "Come behind the bar." And
so he went.
Didn't think.
I said, hey, what are you drinking tonight for the cocktail hour? And he was like, I'd like some scotch. And so he saw the Glenfiddich 21, and
it seemed pretty full. It seemed like
that'd be my choice too. Yeah, it's old, so get rid of the old stuff.
Yeah, it's going bad.
It's going bad.
I had to pour all the beer out, pour all the scotch out. The wine wine doesn't age at all, so we had to lose all that. So what they're giving me shit about is so I used to host all the shows. My background is in improv and comedy, and I'm an actor. If you've seen Man of Steel or Batman vs Superman, let me know.
You were in Man of Steel?
Yeah, I'm Pete Ross. I'm Pete Ross in Man of Steel. I'm in the.
That's crazy. That's the guy that turns into Superman.
He's the guy on the IHOP who's hiding from the fight.
Yeah. So in Rob is like, I want to be there for this. So Pete Ross is a redhead bully of Clark Kent when they're growing up, and then they reach out to me later, and Amy Adams or Lois Lane finds me later, and they find me as a grown-up man. Superman became a superhero, and I became a general manager at an IHOP. And then they brought me back for Batman vs Superman.
I saw you in Breaking Bad.
No, Better Call Saul.
Better Call Saul.
I love that show.
Yeah,
I'm in the I'm in the
Right.
season finale of episode 1
Down
in
the
a
alley.
in a pretty crucial scene at the end of season 1, where
What were you doing? Driving through a stoplight?
No,
He's like the guy they robbed. Right?
Yeah, Marco wants the one last Rolex scam, and so Slip and Jimmy and him, Sal, they want to pull one last scam, and Marco dies in the alley doing that one last scam, and I'm the Mark. I'm the guy who finds the $1,000 in that wallet, and I end up freaking out and running off, and it's one of my favorite scenes ever. They flew me down to Albuquerque to film that, and I got to spend a whole weekend with Bob Odenkirk, and
That's cool.
It was nuts.
Yeah, Bob Odenkirk's my hero.
Bob Odenkirk is one of the only guys, as I understand it, who is a comedian who has won an Emmy. I mean, he was a full-time comedian who won an Emmy.
Who doesn't have his own
Yeah,
show?
I mean, this is
Isn't
the
like-
guy who was originally to be casted as Michael Scott for The Office. So that's like.
Yep. And he started in Chicago at Second City.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So anyways, that's my background. So, I put together a show that we started in a basement in a theater in Chicago. And I wanted to bill all this as the Chicago Magic Lounge. We were going to, basically recreate a night at the New York Lounge, at Shulian's, at Little Bit of Magic, at the Ivanhoe, at Houdini's Pizza Pub and Magic. We just wanted to recreate this whole thing. But for the audience to understand all of this, I would start with a monologue about the history of Chicago style magic. and it started with I think it was like 6 minutes, a tight 6.
Sure, yeah.
Hmm.
Depends on your watch.
Did you work at Second City?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I went through the conservatory of that, but yeah, I did. I knew a lot of people there, and I did some guest sets on the improv stage, which was one of the most amazing things. You know, the cast comes out, they see me, and they're like, "You want to do a guest set?" I'm like, "Absolutely."
Yeah.
I toured for a long time doing improv on the NACA circuit, and I know a lot of magicians work that NACA circuit, and I was there as a comic, but yeah, so I had to.
Did you work cruise ships also as a comic?
No. I'd throw up on everybody. But so my 7 minutes became 15 minutes, and I had to trim it down to a tight 20. And I would, but you know, the thing is we would always talk about the history of Chicago style magic before our shows, and we still do today. I don't host the shows anymore, but the incredible Jan Rose, she hosts our shows now. But there's this crucial element to seeing a show at Chicago style, Chicago Magic Lounge that talks about the history of the magic that we did in this city. There she is, Jen. This is so great. You're so great. Because I don't have to do it anymore, which is great. Because this guy will give me shit for going over my 25-minute time slot. It just keeps growing. You see the bit there? Right, yeah. And so
let us know. Okay. You want to hear about Justin? You want to hear about Louis?
And here's the meta bit. I'm timing how long I can talk about how long I used to go talking about Chicago style magic, just to make this guy go, will you stop talking about how you used to talk about how long you used to talk about Chicago style magic?
Worse. It's like you're punishing me.
Okay, let's go on a tour. Let's take it around. Take the camera around. Show us a little bit of the place over here.
All right, cool. If you don't mind, if you could, Scott, if you want to, cut to a commercial break while we do a little readjusting.
I'm gonna do that.
I'll get everything set up, and then I'll give you a thumbs up when I'm ready.
Yep, do that, and then also we'll come back and then close out with you three guys then as well. So let me just take him out for a few minutes while he gets his thing set up, because we've rehearsed this a little bit. Believe it or not, this is one of the first times we actually did a little bit of rehearsal beforehand. So we spent quite a bit of time to make sure, since this was a little bit completely different format than we typically do when we have people in 3 different locations, plus myself, and bringing people back and forth, and then maybe showing people around the theater and that kind of a thing. But this is a whole lot different. So I hope that you guys have been enjoying this so far. We're about to see some of the insides of the Magic Lounge, including the dressing rooms and the kitchen and everything, I believe. So this is going to be kind of cool. And I know some of the other episodes, if you have been following us from week to week, and I know many of you have, we have seen other theaters, like when we saw Danny Archer, Smoke and Mirrors, and we've seen a Theater of Dreams that Joe Given and Carol Massey Givens had shown us. And so there are other places. And so anyhow, it's kind of great that Joey's going to get a chance to show us around his place then as well. If you have not attended or been to the Magic Lounge, there are some pretty cool things. In fact, let's see, did I have a picture? I don't know. I don't think I didn't have a picture of that, of the entryway or over there, but it is kind of cool. I do want to mention, by the way, it's still not too late. If you will, go ahead and share this. So this way you can share this with your social media. So whenever you are watching this, let everybody else know what you're doing. So this way this goes on to your social calendar, as well as calendar onto your social media, so other people will be able to take a look at this then too. So I think let's see, how are we doing over there? Are we getting ready, Joey? I can hear it starting to rain here in Houston, by the way. So, okay, we got him. Gonna add him back in. I think we got you then, Joey. So you are now over in, it looks like in the bar area.
Can you hear me okay? Are we doing good?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right, fantastic. So I have you on a selfie stick, and I found the guys back here. I think they're trying to get another drink. Hang on just a second. Let me. Very professional here. So yeah. So here we are. We're actually in the Magic Bar itself, and you can see the Magic Bar over here. I'll kind of just point you around in this direction. Can you see okay, Scott?
Yes, I can. Yes, that's
okay,
great. Thank you, Joey.
So So yeah, this is the Magic Bar. This is where Louis. Justin's here. Yeah. So this is where people come in. They'll experience the Magic Bar, and you've got bartenders working left and right, making these craft cocktails. But then we have a magician here that does about a 15-minute, 20-minute set, and then they go back, and then they come back out, and they do a little bit more magic. And so this is the bar. We have our lovely Vanetta and Thurston posters up here, Chung Ling Soo, and we have our Keller poster up here as well.
Real?
Yeah. Well, a lot of people ask, are these real posters? And yes,
They're real, but not original.
Every single artifact that we have in the bar is authentic. It's original.
Oh,
and it's kind of one of my little things. It's like, I do not want reproductions up. In fact,
cool.
You can't really see it. But up in the top of these, if you were here live, you could actually see them. We've got pictures of Frank Everhart working the Ivanhoe and Bert Allerton. We've got Johnny Platt and Blackstone and Matt Shulian and Johnny Paul. These pictures are of the era, not reproductions of their work being done at Chicago Magic Bars. It's really great. And then in this room, this is one of my favorite new displays. Can you see this okay?
Yes, I can. Yes, that looks great.
Yeah. So this
is after they enter from the laundromat.
Well, yeah, this is behind the secret speakeasy entrance. But this is one of my new favorite pieces that I've collected. This is Don Allen, and these reels are part of a giant collection I just got. These are the original reels of the Magic Ranch, Don Allen's Magic Ranch, and it's just really great to have. So you can see here, that's the Jack Gwynn episode here. That's the Johnny Platt one, and that is actually Don Allen's close-up mat. That is Don Allen's dice cup right there, and that's him with a picture of entertaining Hugh Hefner here in Chicago. So we've got the Magic Library here. Just tons of artifacts dating to just Chicago history in general. This is our big library here. A lot of the collection came from Walter Gibson, which he inherited from the great Raymond's collection. So this whole wall is segments of Gibson's collection. We have a lot of pictures on the wall from, Thurston, Keller, Dante, and Herman. This is actually one of my favorite new pieces that I have. Can you see that okay, Scott?
I can, yes.
That's Adelaide Herman, and if you look close, that is her signature on the picture there. I wanted to have a representation of the actual people that are on the posters that line the walls of the Chicago Magic Lounge. This is one of my new favorite things too. I just got this. This is the first generation of the duck. This is the Ireland Magic Company duck. That head is a racquetball. The beak is a tea strainer. But all the magic is real. In fact, this is Laurie Ireland's SAM card signed, which is great.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
If you know Harlan Tarbell, you studied the Tarbell course. He's a Chicago magician. These are the original Tarbell courses in magic, signed by Harlan Tarbell in there. And this is my new favorite thing. This is the Tarbell system, how it would have come originally in the mail, bound up and everything. I've got Charlie Miller's. Charlie Miller lived in Chicago. He actually had the Charlie Miller suite at the Old Magic Inc. But that's Charlie Miller's suitcase with some cards in there.
Wow.
This is fun too. Blackstone is in almost every room, but the Chicago magician.
Senior?
Marshall,
Junior?
What's that?
Senior or junior?
Senior.
Yeah.
That's him right there. Those are juniors cards, but that's senior, and his books as well here. But this is Chicago Magic legend Marshall Brodeen. Not only Wizzo from Bozo, but he worked at the age of 19 in a little magic bar on the South Side called Johnny Paul's Magic Lounge, and it was it was a place for mobsters and all kinds of mess. But
I've heard some stories from Marshall about that, and he had that in his book too.
Yeah, he did, and I've talked to his son about it. I used to actually introduce our intermission with a little story about how he made the birdcage disappear, and how
I know where you're going.
yeah, where'd the fuck that birdcage go?
Where did that cage? And the guy said, "I can't tell you." And he laid down the gun and he said, "Oh, okay, I'll tell you."
Okay, I'll tell you. It's actually up my sleeve. It's a real simple trick,
Yeah.
you know. Yeah, it's just great. But we were gifted even his when he was Wizzo on Bozo. Can you see that? Okay, Sky. It's the
Yes, I can. Yes.
That is his WGN card that got him in to be Wizzo on Bozo. But I just got these at auction, and I just love them. These are Marshall Brodeen's own cups and balls, auctioned off by the Cups and Balls Museum, I believe, that's in Texas.
Yeah, Mark Jensen
Yep.
owns that. Yeah. Mhm.
Yep. Some really fun stuff. This is my favorite. This is just crazy that we have this. Can you see this? Okay, Scott.
Yes.
This is Conjurer's Monthly magazine, the very first one ever given to anyone. To Oscar Teal, the first subscriber. This copy is the first one given to anyone, signed Harry Houdini, dated and signed, and it's just amazing. I will show you this. This is our little man Keller over here.
Yep.
And we enter in this library through a secret entrance. You just turn Keller's head back and the door opens.
How cool is that?
That's pretty cool. We good?
Yep.
Okay. Cool. So, sorry, my thing just said. So here we are in the main Blackstone Cabaret. This is where we were filming here. You can see kind of behind the scenes. And that's upstairs in our mezzanine. We have a 16-seat mezzanine up there. And this is the main cabaret. And then we'll take a little walk back here. We have posters lining everything. Again, these are all original, and there are Chicago connections to almost every one of these. In fact, this is a poster of Dante when he was performing in Chicago at the Erlanger Theater, which was really fun. And here we are at the 654 Club.
Okay.
And I would hope that most Chicagoans would, or most magicians would understand the reference of the 654 Club, a trick made famous in Chicago. By Frank Everhart, and then later by Bill Malone. And I was actually at this table at one of our very first shows, gifting Bill Malone a street sign that I made that said Crimp Street for the 654 Club. It's a super inside joke. But, you know, we talk about Chicago style magic and where it all starts, and it does really start with a man named Matt Schulian. And Matt Schulian was the first one to just sit down and do magic at a table in a restaurant in his bar. And so I've met the Schulian family through all of this, and they were able to gift me some of the most amazing treasures. This picture, can you see that okay, Scott?
I can. Yes. Yep. Mm-hmm.
That is one of the youngest photos I've ever seen of Matt Schulian.
I was going to say, Matt looks rather thin there.
Well, thin comparatively speaking.
Yeah, comparatively speaking,
Yeah.
yes.
And if you know about the Schulian references to the fire helmets, we do have some of the original fire
Yep.
helmets on the wall.
Yep. Oh, that's funny.
And coins and tokens and original memorabilia. If you've ever been to the New York Lounge, or you know about the New York Lounge where
Yes.
Haba Al and Bill Malone worked, this is the actual sign that hung outside the New York Lounge. I was gifted this by a wonderful magician named Terrence, and he brought this to me. We had it cleaned and framed, and it hangs here in the 654 Club. And all this whole wall is just, I mean, I would spend another hour going over the details of this, but this is coasters, matchbooks, menus from magic bars, Time Life magazines from Matt Schulian. And it's just a really wonderful little room. But this is our club. And I'll show you, bring you up here and kind of show you the room. This is our.
Is there a sound booth there also, or is that intimate enough you don't need to have a microphone?
Well, I'm a theater guy, Scott, so I believe in amplification. So behind the curtain, yes.
No, okay. Yeah.
If you look up, we do have speakers. So there's definitely a need in a room this size to have the magician microphoned and really being the control of the room. And so, yeah, we'll keep going. You okay?
Yep. We can still hear and see, and that's very good quality video.
We do have a full kitchen.
And you're looking for kitchen employees.
Yeah, if you want to wash dishes, look me up. We need you. This is the green room here. And what I love about this green room is so our locals, our regulars, they were able to keep their suits in here, keep all their props in here, keep their dresses in here. And then our out of town guests as well get designated lockers to keep their stuff all secure as well. We have, just really kind of intimate stuff. This old picture of Chicago magicians. We're about community first here, and just seeing these old pictures of Chicago communities, coming together as magicians, is just really cool.
As I recall, I thought people used to sign their names on the wall. Did that get painted over?
No. I don't know how good an iPhone works in this little blue room, but
wow.
Can you see this okay?
I can, yes.
Yeah, it's just covered. This is a really funny one here. This is when Piff came in right before our closure. I apologize for everything, Piff. Bill Malone spelled Bill Malone.
Yeah.
You were talking about David Williamson. We can't even see it, but it's way up here at the top. David Williamson signed the very top of the
like a ceiling
of the wall.
Oh, the wall. Okay.
Yeah. I'm going to walk through here, and I'm sorry, I'm probably making all of the Facebook viewers very nauseous. But here we are in our final hallway. This is my little Ed Marlowe wall, and I do have a whole upstairs dedicated to Ed Marlowe. I have the Seven of Diamonds buried in concrete upstairs. But this is
why?
These are some of my newest collections. This is Marlowe's own copy of Marlowe Without Tears, and Marlowe's own copy of Mint as well. This is Marlowe's wand, gifted to Jimmy Nuzzo, and put on display here by the Nuzzo family, which is just really great. And one of my also most proudest collections here is Frances Ireland Marshall. So she was the queen of Chicago magic. She was married to the Ireland family, and they had the magic shop. They had Ireland's Magic, and then when Ireland passed away, of course, Jay Marshall and then became the family. And the old joke is Jay Marshall married a magic shop, and but I was able to get a hold of all of her memorabilia. So below are her lifetime achievement to magic here from the Academy of Magical Arts. This is her Lifetime Achievement Award from the SAM and the IBM combined. And this is her children's show. This is her suitcase. This is her set list in her own writing. And these are actually the glasses that she's wearing in that photo, and her rings and her duck, So it's just really, really cool to see all this.
Yeah, her success books were really just inspiring and had changed a lot of magicians' lives.
Yeah. So we're back in the room. I'm going to do some switch overs here. So if you want to just kind of cut to you for a second so we can get repositioned, we'll meet you back here in the main room.
Okay. Wow. Was that kind of cool or what? So as I said earlier, we've seen some other theaters and everything then too, but this is really a magic theater that's not only just a theater, but also a collection of magic memorabilia, and something we don't get to see very often. If you guys have not had an opportunity to go to the Chicago Magic Lounge, it is really great. Yeah, Jeffrey, as you said, it's a wonderful display to see there in person. So if you get the opportunity, I would certainly suggest you go to the Chicago Magic Lounge. And it seems like I've got something about that. So if you want to go over to the ChicagoMagicLounge.com, that will give you some information about that. So if you're ever in Chicago, and I know there are people who are watching this who are literally all over the world, from Australia, in Asia, and Europe, and the UK. And so if you have an opportunity to do that, I would suggest you do that, because it's pretty darn cool. So anyhow, let's get back over then with the last three guys, and we can kind of close this out here. Let me see if I can get everybody together. There you are, guys. Hey. You're back. Thank you very much, Joey. And also thank you for showing us around the lounge. That was great. Now, this is the second or the third location for the lounge?
Well, in my heart, it's the only location for the lounge. Like I said, we started so many years ago, 2015. Truth be told, I'm a director at heart, and I was directing Lewis's show. We worked for about a year together.
I think it was almost 2 years.
Almost 2 years, yeah, on a show that he had produced called Bending Minds and Bending Dreams, and we pitched it in Spanish and in English to all markets in Chicago. And a friend of mine reached out. He had just opened a burlesque theater in the basement of this little place nearby, and he asked me what I was up to, and I said I was directing this magic show, and he said we should do something together, and that's how the Thursday night happened. I knew that we had potential to do something more, to really make a statement for magic and tell the story of Chicago style magic that had been missing since the days of Schulian. And so we did. We put that on, and we were there for about a year, and then they asked us to do Thursday and Saturday nights, and so we did that for another year and a half. Do you remember when we used to do the open mics?
Oh, right, yeah. I think that's where I first met up with them. I heard about this show in Uptown, and they used to have like a magician's open mic. I was like,
Good idea / bad idea.
Yeah.
But we got a lot of
Greatest idea.
Yeah. I always do open mics and stuff like that.
Yeah, it was. What I realized was that magicians were only able to get stage time at open mics, and in a comedian's world, open mic is about 3 minutes.
Right.
Great time to tell a joke. Terrible time to do setup for egg and bag.
Big bag,
You
yeah.
know, so we gave all the magicians about 7 minutes to 8 minutes to do something. But what they didn't know was that we were secretly auditioning. No, it wouldn't be the Houston Lounge. It'd be Chicago Magic Lounge, Houston.
Houston.
Yeah. And so we started doing this show, and we met so many people through this open mic, and it was a secret audition process. Really, it was like, if you fooled me and I had a great time, I wanted to talk to you more, and I wanted to see you on the stage, and then. My partner, my business partner, came along. He saw a show. They invited us. The theater invited us to do Saturday nights as well. And then we were doing Saturday nights, and we involved a back room of the theater they weren't using for close up. And he came in. And he said, "I love this concept. I love this idea. Are you looking for an investor?" And Scott, what do you say?
Yes.
Yes, I am. And
the answer is always yes.
Yeah, and but we met. We had some Scotch eggs at a little.
I love Scotch eggs.
Yeah, and we talked business, and our visions really aligned with what we wanted to see in Chicago for magic, and then we started working on this project. We got the best architects involved, the best contractors involved, and we already had the best magic involved. And then we built this little place up, and so yeah, it's just been crazy. And so it went from that underground world to what we have now.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Well, this has been just a delightful time we've had, and the bartender has called us a couple of times over here. I think our happy hour is about ending, and so they're cutting me off on this last third martini here. So it's
on
okay.
our last third, fifth martini.
And so I will start to close it out over there and just say thank you very much. And so, Justin, thank you. Also, you can go see him at justinpurcell.com. And Louis, you started this whole ball rolling over there at louiscarrion.com as well. And of course, if you want,
quick thing.
What's that? Yes.
Keep an eye on in August. I have a surprising thing coming out in August, which I'm very excited about.
You have a what?
I have a surprise in August.
Okay, a surprise in August. Okay.
Everybody in the magic community will see it.
Are you going to be a father?
I can't say just yet.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm thinking. Like, oh my God.
I can't say what it is just yet, but just keep
Of
an
a
eye for
magic
it.
trick.
August, it's going to be big, okay, for Luis Carrion. So thank you.
He makes a baby appear.
Yeah,
Something like that.
No.
Scott.
something like that.
Paige is like watching, going like, she dropped her phone, like trying to go, no.
My baby daddy. That's no baby.
And thank you, Joey, also very much for hosting this thing over there and going to all the trouble you did to put this thing together. And so,
Oh, this little home studio? No.
yeah, I mean, this has been quite an 18 months that we have been going through, and you guys have been hitting it out of the park. Obviously, you're the guru for Ecamm with the cup and everything over there. But the point is, you have kind of been keeping magic alive because everyone's trying to figure out what can we do to try to make sure we are able to continue to enjoy magic during this time of pandemic and quarantine, and everyone has been finding their own niche. And so
I will say, Scott, that that to call me a guru is not even. So what I learned.
Isn't enough.
No,
Paige says no, baby.
Use bigger words.
Yeah.
No.
What is she doing here? I thought she was working tonight.
Honestly, what inspired me were magicians who were at home who needed to figure out a way to reach their audiences. And Dennis Watkins here in Chicago,
I love Dennis,
has done an amazing job, but he's a one-man army there. And watching so many magicians,
he's a Steve Cohen of Chicago.
yeah. But to do all of the switching and the magic themselves was, it was just inspiring. And so basically I took it to my team here and I said, well, what can we do on the back end as producers so that we can just have magicians do their thing free of the concerns of switching cameras and like putting and finding volunteers and all that. It was really the true pioneers of the virtual world were magicians who are hustling to share their art in this digital medium. I had nothing to do with that. I saw how well they were doing it, and I said, how can I better serve the magic community by being on the back end and bringing in people? And so that's what I was talking about with Ecamm and that interview thing. We could bring in talent from Europe, and we could bring in talent from South America, and we could bring in talent into our venue and mix all of that into something. And so our production team was in the back end doing what we saw magicians doing on the front end, and we really truly learned from the hustlers out there who made this virtual thing work. And we saw all of you. We've seen it all, and we just wanted to make it so that we did the work to showcase the magic.
Yeah. And you've certainly done a good job of that and showcasing magic and keeping it alive, not only in Chicago, but also in the minds and presence of the general public by everything that you guys have been doing. And so, as you had said beforehand, these two guys were your kings.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
Workhorses, really.
Well,
they work for carrots, and they'll pull a cart. I'll tell you what.
they pull the cart. I like that.
Job done.
I'll do it under any conditions.
But thank you guys very much for being here. I have enjoyed this, and I know the rest of the people who are online, and we've got dozens, if not hundreds, who have been watching this as well. And I know there'll be many more who will watch this and replay later who can't be here tonight in their different time zones and whatever. So thank you guys very much. Thank you, Justin. Thank you, Joey. Thank you, Louis. You guys have been just fantastic. So I appreciate that. And also that I'm going to bring you guys out. If you'll just hang on for just a few moments after we kind of roll out of here. I just want to also, let's see. I just want to make sure you'll hang on. I'm going to say good night to everybody else, but thank you guys very much. I'm going to take you out. We'll get back to you guys in a minute. So hang on over there. And Mark Holstein, good night. I'll see you in Colon, in Michigan in just a few weeks. As Paige said, no baby, so it's not going to be that. So that's not the surprise that that Louis is going to be talking about. But listen, you guys have been great. I again want to remind you, if you would please go over and you can take a look at this week's podcast with Katrina Crutch. And Magical Katrina is like I said, a new force awakens. She's someone who is young and new, and she has been performing quite a bit and starting to get a name for herself. She's been on Penn and Teller Foolish, and she's been at several conventions. She's been competing and doing a lot of stuff, and she's just one of these new up-and-coming people, and I wanted to make sure that you go and listen to that podcast on the Magic Word Podcast here this week. We always have a lot of people, so I encourage you to go, please, to subscribe to our pod letter, and to also then to make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel. Before long, hopefully, I'll be at a point where I can actually start to maybe actually monetize that, but who knows? We'll see. So listen, you guys have been great. And as I mentioned early on, some of you are kind of coming in late. So I will tell you again right now what my plan is to start to kind of roll out of this. And we are getting to a point where it's more difficult to try to find people who are available, who can come in to be on the podcast, and also I'm going to be traveling a lot for the rest of the year, starting in August, and so I'm going to be presenting a lot of podcasts that are going to be daily updates from conventions, like I used to do, and so you be sure to do that. In the meantime, it's going to be continuing through this into July, and you can still order your podcast. Your virtual martini, virtual happy hour. I'll say it in a minute. Man, I've been drinking too much. I'm not driving at least. Magic and Martini Thursday virtual happy hour name badges, so this way that you can then join us then as well. So listen, thank you guys very much. I'm glad that you're here tonight. And so we're going to be having some really an interesting guests next week, which are it's a completely different direction we're going to be going. So stick around for just a second and watch this video, and you'll see who our guests are going to be until next week. And so until next week, this is Scotty out.